Chapter 3 The Communion Copter. All of the children were working hard in their preparations. On top of all the prayers and hymns they had to learn, everyone had their own individual concerns. Ellie was worried about her sins. All the children were learning about reconciliation, which is about saying sorry properly. Father Harty, the priest, was doing confessions. Ellie's problem was that she was a naturally nice girl. Also, she had no baby brothers to bring out her dark side. The other children were sharing their sins with her. Anya was worried that her little brother, Olin, would be unable to stop talking in the church. He was a gifted child, so he had difficulty shutting up. Maria was trying to teach her big sisters to do movie star smiles. I want my communion photos to look nice. But Dad says my sisters always look like they are chewing sour wasps in photos. Jack and Luke, the identical twins, were trying to grow their hair long to create a special hairstyle. Maureen was trying to gain weight to fit into the dress her cousin was lending her. Damien wanted to draw a special picture for the church. His favourite thing to draw was the baby Jesus, but he was worried that might be only for Christmas. Samantha was very worried about clothes. I have no dresses, she told Kathleen anxiously. Can I borrow one from you, please? We're the same size. There's no need to worry about that at all, said Kathleen. This is what happens. Your mum and you go shopping and she picks you a nice one. You wear it in the church and keep it clean. You might need to wear it again to visit people. When you get home from the church, you put on ordinary clothes for the bouncy castle. Samantha looked even more worried now. But where will I get a bouncy castle? She asked, looking even more stressed. Oh, they just come on the day, said Kathleen reassuringly. A man brings one and puts it in your garden. It just comes. Kathleen was excited about her dress. She was telling Maureen about the tasteful dress her mum had promised her. What does tasteful mean? Asked Maureen. You can't taste a dress, can you? I am not sure, said Kathleen. I think tasteful means really beautiful and sparkling, like an angel or saint would have, or maybe a princess. Nessa wanted very much to show off. Nessa's dad was rich. He made special effects for singers who were appearing in the Eurovision Song Contest. Say if a singer wanted to appear to fly across the stage, or if a pop group wanted to appear out of a basket of fire or a waterfall, then Nessa's dad was the man for the job. He had loads of money and was always buying Nessa gifts, but no matter what he gave her, she was never happy for long and usually had a sourpuss in her half an hour after getting her latest present. Kathleen had never seen Nessa's dad smile. Nessa was smiling today because her dad had promised her a communion copter to fly her to the church. He was going to get her a little white helicopter and have it painted in whatever style she wanted. Yesterday I told him to paint me as a fairy on the sides, but then I told him to paint over that and to paint me as a mermaid. But I think tonight I'll tell him to paint over that and have me sitting on a unicorn, she explained to anyone who would listen to her. Come on, children, said Miss Cronin, the teacher. It's time for the practice mass. The whole class and Miss Cronin were walking across to the schoolyard to meet their parents for the practice mass. Why do we need practice masses? Samantha asked Kathleen. I think it's to teach the parents how to behave themselves in a church, replied Kathleen. Like, say if your mum's phone rang and she went, Hey girl, out loud, you'd be mortified. Or if your dad was trying to watch a football match on an iPhone and he shouted, Goal! The children were filing in. Jack and Luke were singing. Jack did a cartwheel in the carpet. Nessa was showing off her new rosary beads. She was twirling them around and round. Maureen was eating a nice bun. Father Harty came out of the sacristy. He stood on the altar looking around. He seemed to be confused. He stared at the mob of children and parents in front of him. Can anyone help me? Am I in my church at all? He looked around. I seem to have wandered into a shopping centre. Just in case anyone isn't sure, this is a church. Don't mind looking for the soft play area or the cafe. In the house of God, there's no free Wi-Fi internet access, so I'll ask you all to please switch off any pad phones, iPads, phablets and tablets. There were sounds of shuffling and clicking as everyone complied. Father Harty scanned the congregation. Did I see two fellas cartwheeling in here?" Jack held up his hand and prodded Luke to do the same. "Is it Jedward I have here? Well, I'm sorry, Jedward, but this is a church, not the stage of the Cork Opera House. Less of the gymnastics, please, boys." He spotted Maureen. "Maureen, is that a nice bun you're eating?" Maureen's mum grabbed the bun and hid it in her bag. "Here's Mr. and Mrs. Crowley. We had little Billy Crowley in for his first Holy Communion last year. Maybe he'll drop in some day for his second Holy Communion. And Nessa. Has anyone seen Nessa's horse? Horse, anyone? She's waving her rosary beads like a lasso. Must be hoping to rope a horse or a bullock. Mrs. Shea, aren't you looking well? You're as lovely as you were on your wedding day when I last saw you. Oh, and there's Mr. Shea. Isn't that great? I thought the pair of ye had emigrated." "Now, a show of hands. How many of ye have been in a church before?" Just over half the hands went up. Parents were heard whispering, "You were here for your christening," and a few more hands shot into the air. Father Harty nodded. "Is there anyone here that knows how to bless themselves?" He surveyed the crowd. "Oh, sweet divine Mother of God, we're back to basics with the shower. All right, everyone, copy me." He raised his hand to his forehead, then paused. "I should say, you're all as welcome as the flowers in May. God loves a full house. Now, copy me. In the name of the Father,